Recording
Okay.
has started.
Okay. So, hello and welcome everyone to the live chat with community members as part of our new EU Code Week MOOC online bootcamp or Code Week bootcamp. Uh, Today with you are I. I mean, my name is Ariana Blažić, and with me is the other course coordinator and moderator Eugenia. And we would also like to introduce Tommaso, who you also already know, who is one of the course coordinators and moderators. I come from Croatia, and Eugenia, where are you based?
I come from Spain originally, but I'm based in Brussels.
So it's really a pleasure to be coordinating and moderating this MOOC together with you and Tommaso. And I'm very happy that we have so many participants already on the MOOC. I have also prepared Mentimeter to see where you are from, but I will share it in a moment because we have prepared just a few slides before we start with our live chat with community members, which I think is will be more interesting than this introduction. So we just wanted to tell you something very, very briefly about the structure of the course itself. There are 3 modules. This week we opened the first one on the road to code, where we introduced the EU Code Week initiative and also coding and programming and computational thinking. And on Monday, we opened the second module, Bring Ideas to Life, and there we will focus on unplug coding, tinkering, making, robotics, and artificial intelligence. And then the last week of the MOOC is dedicated to call to action. We focus on app development and also very, very important topics of diversity and inclusion. Within the course, we have planned 2 live events. The first one is this one, live chat with community members, so that you learn more about who the community members are and what they do. And in the third week, we are going to host a Teach Meet where we invite all of you to join us with your experience, with your expertise, and inspire the other participants. And of course, there are some tasks. Actually, we only have one final assignment that consists of several parts, but also we have plenty of short or very simple and a bit more complex tasks that we think might help you to bring coding to your students, to your school, so that you can experiment and see how it works. But we've got some questions about the task and what is mandatory, what is optional. So we would like to take this opportunity to tell you that actually all the tasks, but the final task, are optional. So whenever you see words like warm-ups or stretch exercises or workouts, please know that these are optionals. Optional. We call this MOOC Bootcamp, so that's why we have these maybe strange names for the tasks. So they are all optional. You can do that. All these tasks you can complete them if you have time, but don't worry. We won't ask you if you have submitted your project to the Padlet or have written your opinion in the discussion. Of course, your work, your thoughts, your experience matters. And if you have time, please share all of them with the other participants. As mentioned before, the only task that is mandatory is the final assignment. However, this one consists of several small activities. So the first one is quiz in module 2. So module 2 is not open yet. Next week you will see that you can do this quiz. So this is mandatory. Then you need to add an activity to the EU Code Week map. You have everything explained on the platform, but if you still have questions, please ask your questions. We will be very happy to answer and help you. So you can basically add this activity anytime. Before the deadline, of course, but make sure that you give enough time to the ambassadors who will need to approve your activity. And then in the final module, in module 3, week 3, you will be able to submit your activity. So what you will get when you add the activity to the EU Code Week map, you will get a link. So in module 3, you need to submit this link, and then you will get 3 activities submitted by your peers, one after the other, that you need to assess. And after that, you can find your certificate on the progress tab in the on the platform. Also, in this MOOC, we also decided to take a little bit, a bit of different approach, a blended approach. So, Eugenia, would you please tell us more about it?
Absolutely. So we heard as well from your feedback of previous courses that something that you would definitely enjoy is to work together in a team and to be able to complete the course together with your course mates. And so together with this, in this MOOC, we have what we call local study groups. And basically these are study groups that gather at school level, face-to-face or online. And basically what these groups do is they take the course together. They go through the content together, they resolve the activities, they also solve questions, solve challenges together. And right now, I'm very happy to say we have 35 of these local groups all over Europe and even beyond Europe. So this is very exciting, and we're looking forward to seeing the results. In particular, yes, 11 countries. I'm saying 35 because we had recent additions. For now, this opportunity is closed, but stay tuned because in the coming MOOCs, we may be opening again this opportunity, and you may be able to become what we call study group leaders, which are the leaders of these study groups. And alongside, of course, many of you are taking the course remotely, individually. That means basically that you can take the course in the same modality as you may have taken other Code Week MOOCs or other MOOCs in general in other platforms. And so this is a bit about blended learning, the blended learning approach to this MOOC. Thank you, Ariana. Back to you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Eugenia. And now we would like to introduce our EU Code Week community. Community is our teachers who work within the EU Code Week community, who share the values of EU Code Week, are very important. And that's why we decided to invite members of our community to this live event and to see what they do and how they share their expertise and experience and what tips and recommendations they have for all of you. So the members of our EU Code Week community are EU Code Week ambassadors, edu coordinators, and leading teachers. And I'm really happy to be able to welcome today members of our community, Julie Power, ambassador from Ireland, Maria Tapara, leading teacher from Greece. And right now, I'm not sure that Grazio Gristi has joined us, but as soon as he joins, we will invite him to the stage. So I will now stop sharing this presentation and invite you, Julie and Maria, to introduce yourselves. You are very, very welcome to this event.
Shall I go first then?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm Julie Power from Ireland, and I joined EU Code Week this time 3 years ago. I'm not sure whether I was in the right place at the right time or the wrong place at the wrong time, whichever. But I was recruited by a former ambassador, so Mags was the ambassador just before me, and she asked me to join, so I was delighted. And I have been then joined last year by Pam O'Brien, so there's now 2 ambassadors, and we're working together. And we also have then Anthony Kilcoyne. He would be the edu coordinator, and we're building up a team of leading teachers also.
Thank you so much. If Grazio doesn't make it to this event, Julie, we will ask you to tell us more about the edu coordinators as well and how you communicate and collaborate. Thank you. And Maria, it's a pleasure to welcome you too.
Thank you so much, Eugenia and Ariana, for the invitation. I am Maria Tapara. I'm an early childhood educator in the second kindergarten of Perama in Greece, and also since 2018 a leading teacher. I'm so excited. I'm so happy to be a part of this unique learning community, and I believe that it's a community based on volunteering, collaboration, communication, and creativity. So, as a leading teacher, I have the opportunity to organize activities with my colleagues and for my colleagues, for my students and with my students. And I can also connect schools and teachers who are interested in participating in the EU Code Week initiative, and always encourage them to organize activities and register them on the Code Week map.
Thank you. That's great. So we've heard what a leading teacher does to contribute to the community and also to invite the other members. But what about ambassadors? What is the role of an ambassador? What does it mean to be an EU Code Week ambassador, Julie?
Okay. Well, when I joined, first of all, we used to meet in Brussels twice a year and meet the other ambassadors. So it's about communicating with other ambassadors from other countries, as well as then bringing the information home. That's obviously all online now. We do have some informal ambassadors meetings. There's an option to do that each week if we want. And then within the country, our role is really to share all the information and the awareness of EU Code Week. At the moment, myself and Pam are meeting on a weekly basis ourselves, especially in the run up to the Code Week, the official 2 weeks. So we are going to run. I suppose what we're learning this year is we're trying to move from, say, organizing all the activities to supporting others and sharing the information and sharing and just increasing the awareness. So we have been doing. We are running an event during Code Week where we're going to get a series of speakers, but then we're also encouraging other people to do so. And Pam and myself, we've been collating resources and sharing resources with the community. So there's lots of things. I mean, it's really just increasing awareness. We have a Twitter account, but we want to get a website up there as well. We haven't got that yet, but we'd like to do that soon. And other platforms. We have taken part in the community events as well. Trying to think what else we've been doing. Just, like say, each year we're trying to think of some new activities. So last year we introduced escape rooms to try and increase awareness. And this year we used the hackathons. So we were lucky to be involved in the hackathon this year. There was 6 countries that ran hackathons, and we've just done the second round of that. So that finished last week. So myself and Pam were involved in all that. So yeah, we're sort of trying to introduce new activity, new events, say one new activity in one event, one larger ones, and then encourage other people to do likewise at the school level. But we work closely then also with the edu coordinator. So myself and Pam would be more on the informal education areas, and with the edu coordinator, he would reach out to all our education centres, and he would be encouraging people, on the formal education system to get involved, and then we would be more on the informal. But we work very closely with Anthony as well.
That's great. So collaboration with other community members is very important if we want EU Code Week to be successful. Thank you, Julie. Maria, what about you? How do you collaborate with the other community members, edu coordinators, and also ambassadors from Greece?
Yes, I believe that collaboration is a major issue, and every year we collaborate with other leading teachers from Greece, and not only from Greece and from other countries, and we run webinars to spread out the message of EU Code Week. And also we are glad that this year we had the opportunity to organize with two other leading teachers, Athanasia Zaferopoulou and Margarita da Coronha, the first EU Code Week Greek Autumn School. And also in this autumn school, we had guest speakers from universities and also other leading teachers from Greece that support us. Moreover, Mr. Stamatis Papadakis, who is one of the ambassadors of EU Code Week, support this initiative with his presentation. And also, we were so glad that we have a collaboration with Mr. James Kalous, who also ran the EU Code Week Summer School of Malta. So I always have in mind that coding does not meet borders, and after all, coding connects us.
Indeed, yes. So it's my question was about collaboration in your country, but I really like your point. It can't stay within one country because we are all an international community, and the international collaboration is not only important, but it comes naturally to all of us, I would say. Yes, so we've seen a lot of enthusiasm and inspiration during the summer school in Malta and the autumn school in Greece, and how well they collaborated.
Yes, and we are looking forward to do the second, the second summer or autumn school.
That's fantastic.
We look forward as well to seeing the second.
Yeah. And also, I'm sure leading teachers and ambassadors from other countries have been inspired by this initiative, and I'm sure they are also planning some interesting activities to spread the word about EU Code Week. Thank you, Maria. And Julie, you mentioned hackathons.
Yes.
For the second time. So
I mentioned it twice. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah, I suppose we were due to run one last year before COVID, and we were due to run in-person hackathons, and that all got cancelled. But luckily, we were able to do online hackathons this year, and we had back in April we ran we had 10 or just over 10 teams competing, and we did it during school time, and so schools entered teams for the hackathon, and 5 of those teams then the challenge that they got was to build some sort of product, be it a website or an app, to connect local communities in a particular area, local community organizations, I should say, so voluntary organizations in a particular area. So they worked through from say 2 o'clock, I think, one afternoon until 2 o'clock the next afternoon. So it was during school time, but they were free to work themselves afterwards on the products. And then they had to pitch it to a jury, and we had some workshops as well there also to support them for their brainstorming and also for their pitching. And then 5 of those teams went forward to our finals, our national hackathon, we call it, which was last week. And of those 5 teams, then we have 1 team now going through to the European hackathon during Code Week, which will take place, I think, on October 14th. So the challenge, they continued to work on their products during the summer, but then they had a twist, the challenge, just a slight twist in the challenge then last week. They were asked to make their product accessible to as many people as possible. So they had to think about all accessibility, and we had somebody speaking who was blind who came in to speak to them, and also somebody to help with the pitching again. So it was great. It was really super. And the team that won is a team of girls, 3 girls, and they're going to represent Ireland now at the European Hackathon. So we're really looking forward to that.
That's really fantastic. Congratulations to the winning team, but also to all of you. And I can see how enthusiastic you are when talking about these events that you have organized, and also Maria, when she was talking about the autumn summer school. So you were both enthusiastic, and it's really great to see that. But can you tell us what is behind that? How much work? Where you find inspiration? How do you organize these activities? Well, Julie, you can start.
Okay.
Please.
Well, we were lucky because the hackathons were arranged centrally. So we were, Pam and I were both obviously involved, but the running of the hackathon, we were lucky, was done by Brussels. So we were involved both days, but there was a platform used, Discord platform was used for everyone to communicate. So we were lucky in that, because of that. But it still takes time, but we were lucky because we got a lot of help.
Yeah. When you like doing what you do, then everything is easier.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah. And Maria, what about you and the autumn school?
Yes, definitely needs a lot of time, but when you collaborate with other community members that are so exciting and looking forward for this collaboration, I believe that we can achieve everything. So this happened to our autumn school with Athanasia and Margarita. It was a great team, a great collaboration, and we also were so excited when the educators that participate in the autumn school said to us that only 15 hours, it's so we want more, and we want to have a second part of this. So we are just happy for that and looking forward to do other trainings, local trainings or national trainings. We don't know yet. Definitely, I believe that the collaboration is very important. We can overcome every obstacles, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you have organized these activities for teachers and also hackathons. Students were involved, right? What are some other activities that you offer to teachers? How do you help them regarding their professional development, enhancing their coding skills? Julie?
Okay, me again. Yeah, I think I touched briefly on it earlier, but I'll just go into a little bit more detail now. Last year we ran a series of webinars during Code Week. So we did, I think, Monday to Thursday, both weeks. So 8 webinars, and we had different speakers each night. And it was open to everybody. So, one day was app development. Another day, oh golly, I'm trying to think now back what were all the things we did. I know I did an escape room as well. We had microbits, we had lots of different things during the 2 weeks of Code Week. And then we decided this year we are going to do like what the community, like what you guys did, which was the Teach Day, which is a 1-day event, and we have a series of speakers for that as well. We're just in the process of finalising that, and that'll take place during Code Week as well, but it'll just be a one-off day. So, and then in terms of resources, we are going through the different, like we're taking some, we're creating some of the resources, myself and Pam, well, Pam is actually, so she's going through, she's gone through the website and just suggesting, for teachers, there's lots of teachers that are involved at this stage and they know what they're doing, but we're trying to attract those teachers that haven't started yet. And so we're trying to make it as simple as possible. So just, the bite-sized, or even the learning bits, those type of resources that they can do quite simply, in one class or whatever. So we're helping on that side. We have a network of teachers. It's called CESI, which is Computers in Education Society of Ireland, and it's a forum, and there's lots of teachers on that, and so that's where we're sharing our resources. But we're also trying to think, how can we reach those teachers that aren't on that forum and that haven't tried it? And I have to think of a couple of my friends who are really, I have a couple of primary school friends who are very confident in what they do. But when I mention coding, they run from me. So I'm trying to see how I can get those three. They're in totally different schools in Ireland, like across Ireland. And I'm trying to see how I can get those three involved. And if I find a way of getting those three involved, that will help for all these other people that, you know, don't know what it is and don't want to know at the moment, but we're just trying to reach those. So as I say, on that forum, on that SETI forum, we've lots and lots of people that are already doing lots of great things. And that's the thing that's going on in Ireland. Like, we have coding now on the curriculum. It's an optional subject in the curriculum. So there's lots and lots of coding going on. We know that that's taking place, but there's some teachers then that haven't started yet. Or the other issue that we have is, even though there's lots of coding going on, it's not being logged on the map. So that's the other effort that we're focusing our efforts at the moment, is to try and see how we can get those teachers that are doing lots of coding, if they can just pin on the map. So there are challenges really at the moment, and also that's the activities and things and the resources that we're planning.
Yeah, that's great. It's important to involve teachers who are not computer science teachers.
Yes,
and
exactly.
That's really the most difficult part of how to make them so enthusiastic about coding and understand that it's not only for ICT teachers. Yes, and Maria, at your event, I'm sure you know who the participants are. There were almost 90 participants there, right?
In the autumn school,
yes,
there were 66 educators, primary school teachers, and kindergarten teachers. But except from the autumn school, we also created a team, the Codally team, and every year with another colleague, Anthea colleague, we educate teachers on how to implement coding activities in their classroom. And also we try to create alliances for EU Code Week for All, and relate it every year to different topics such as art, storytelling, or sustainable development. For example, last year we opened our eTwin project, School Defenders of the Earth, and proposed organized activities to other teachers. So last year 70 schools participated in this alliance. And also I have to say that in Greece, for example, in a kindergarten, there isn't an ICT teacher, but we can see that the kindergarten teachers are so active, and every year participate in EU Code Week, and also try to implement these teachers in our webinars in order to present their work and share their ideas. Even if they are not a leading teacher or ambassador, but they are so passionate with the EU Code Week.
Great. These are really great activities that target teachers. And what about students? What do you do to help students understand the importance of coding and bring coding to them, encourage them to try to experiment, and especially girls? We've heard from you, Julie, that the winning team are 3 girls, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how can we the participants in this MOOC and in this live event, what can they do to bring coding to students and involve girls?
Okay. I'm just thinking of the particular team of girls. As it happened, we had, of the 5 teams that were in the final of the hackathon, 2 were from the same school and 3, I think, from the same area in the west of Ireland. And there's a lady there, Isol Mangan, and she is incredible. She has encouraged students in her area to get involved, but she also gets them involved in, I've helped them as well as a mentor. It's Technovation, and it's an international competition, and they have to build an app. So those students had worked on that maybe a couple of months ago. So they'd gone through, it's probably over maybe a 10-week period, where they brainstorm in the beginning, and they get the challenge, they brainstorm, they build some prototypes, and then they build their app, and then they have to pitch it. So I think the reason why those teams did so well is because they'd been through the process before, and they'd been supported by ESOLT, and they knew what they were doing. And although the time frame had been narrowed hugely from a few weeks to one day, they were able to apply that process again. So it's just to catch them. She just tapped into their interest, or tap their interest, or whatever. And they just love doing it now. So and I think as well, you know, often they say that girls love to, you know, they're trying to make a better world. Often if there's the challenges to make a better world, or to, you know, to solve some problem, that really appeals to girls as well. So I'm just thinking of them in particular and how well that's worked for them.
Yeah, so providing them with support is important, but also letting them decide for themselves, so that they are independent.
And I like as well a lot the idea that you mentioned, Julie, of seeing a purpose behind what they're doing and just having this concrete goal. I think that's also very important and motivates all students. I think that's a great point indeed. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. And what about you, Maria? You teach kindergarten?
Yes,
and many of the participants of the autumn schools are kindergarten teachers. So what do you do to inspire such young kids to code?
So as I am a teacher, a kindergarten teacher, my students are from 4 to 6 years old, the little ones. I try to implement coding activities in my classroom. Also, I believe that it's very important that the whole school, the other colleagues support this initiative and also participate in the EU Code Week with coding activities. We try to implement in October unplugged activities, pixel art, using Cody cards. We also use robotic kits such as Bebot, Mouse Robot, and we also this year thinking to use Scratch Junior. I believe that it's very important to use a variety of resources based on the needs of our students. And I believe that the European Code Week is for everyone. Everyone can organize an activity, and the activities can be used from anyone. So
I think that's indeed true. And regarding robotics in Module 2, we're going to have a unit about robotics where you're going to hear more about this, what Maria mentioned, the B-bots and different options in robotics. But I think indeed it's a great way to engage students, especially the little ones, because they love playing with gadgets and they love seeing things moving on their own. And so I think those are fantastic ideas indeed. And I like what you mentioned, Maria, that it's for everyone. It's for the little ones. It's for all kind of teachers teaching not just computer science, but all subjects. And I think that's at the very core of what we try to disseminate with Code Week, that coding and computational thinking is for everyone, for every student, and therefore for every teacher.
And also our students have a great idea, so we are getting inspired from them every day.
It's often the student giving us ideas, not the contrary.
Yeah, and it's not that you need only expensive equipment to bring coding to students. So you can use some do-it-yourself materials and do some unplugged activities or tinkering and making, which will also be, there will be some ideas in the second module on how you can do this with your students. And Julie, you mentioned escape rooms.
Yep.
So what
I love escape rooms.
Yeah. Can you tell us more about them?
Yeah. I think actually I was introduced to escape rooms by the two people that recruited me for EU Code Week about 4 or 5 years ago. They introduced me to the physical, like in-person escape rooms where we had a box and lots of padlocks on it, and we had challenges within. And then what happened last year during lockdown, I think I was trying to actually organize a family event, and I just decided to switch it, the kit that I have, the physical kit, there actually is an online version. So I started playing around with that, and it was just family first of all, then it was neighbors and friends, and then I brought it into work, and we used it as, you know, our kind of team building during, you know, we had once a week we'd all meet. So I did it for that, and then we used it for Code Week last year. We did it as a Code Week awareness. So the questions that we asked, we'd have some sort of computational thinking questions, myself and Pam, and then we also had EU Code Week awareness. So we'd ask some things about, you know, something on the website or whatever. But it's an online platform that I've used, but it doesn't have to be this particular one. And it's just such fun. Like you break, you know, the fact that you can do breakout rooms on the different platforms now just makes it much more fun. You put them into teams. So I did introduce that at there was an informal ambassadors meeting, and then at the last community meeting, then Annika asked to do it with the group. So we had good fun doing it. So yeah, they're great. It's just, it can be used for any subject, but you know, it's the whole computational thinking and the teamwork, and you know, even you could see you know, when people start to use it, first of all, they're kind of going, there's no instructions, but then they realize, no, they have to look at every clue that's on the page and see what exactly to do. But you can tailor the questions to whatever way you want, and it's yeah, fun and creative or critical thinking and collaboration. Those kind of skills are used, so I recommend them. Yeah.
Yeah. I had the pleasure to take part in this escape room during the community meeting, and I can say it was really, really fun because there was so much collaborative work required from all the participants. So if you wanted to solve this task, and the tasks weren't easy, but I think it's good that they are not too easy, because otherwise all these fun part would be lost.
Yeah.
And yeah.
What I actually find as well is that when you have a team, you see that different you know, one person might find one question really easy and then the next one really hard, but the other person finds that easy. And it's just different personalities have different skills that they bring to the table. And actually, when you're in a physical breakout or escape room place, for, say, example, whoops, sorry, just, it'd be like, you know, this is, say, you know, if you're doing it physically, like that's the kind of lock that you'd have, and you'd have all the different padlocks on it, and the padlocks might have you know, you'd have one with numbers, one with letters, one with colors, one with what else, with shapes and directions. So there's all different locks that you can put on it, and just the fun you have with that. But when it's in person as well, you see, you know, the different roles that people take on, and whether they divide and conquer, whether they, you know, all try one thing together or, you know, split up, and who takes the lead. And, you know, it's fascinating to watch. Like this, it's brilliant. It's a great team building, but it's great for competition thinking as well.
Yes, yeah. Really, some collaborative skills are very important in our world today. So this is something that they learn by playing and by learning other things. So they are not really aware of the skills they are acquiring along the way. Great, yes. So these escape rooms are very popular, and if perhaps if you can share some links later on in the chat, Julie, I think it would be a great idea. But we can also now ask the participants of this meeting if they have any questions. And then I have seen that Annalisa asked about hackathons. Eugenia, what about the hackathons?
Yes, I can also reply here. So thank you as well for your interest on the hackathon. So at this stage that we are right now with the hackathons, it's no longer possible to join as a participant or as a mentor. However, you can still watch the finals that we are going to transmit live from our YouTube channel. Especially exciting is the European final that Julie mentioned. And so this one is taking place during Code Week, and this is something that we very encourage you to watch together with us during Code Week and to celebrate Code Week with us. And then stay tuned for the next edition of the hackathons, as they will take place in different countries, and we'll kickstart the process once again. So we'll definitely let the community know when that happens. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell.
Thank you.
Definitely worth doing. If you get the chance, it's definitely worth doing.
Definitely, it's going to be very, very interesting. So we have 6 teams competing right now from each of the 6 local hackathons, and so it's going to be the best of the best, and it's going to be definitely very exciting to watch. So definitely tune in and watch, please.
So maybe Maria, you will also give it a try next year.
And why not?
Yes. That's good, really good, great attitude. I think everybody in this community is very eager to try things and see how something would work in their classroom. So while we are waiting for the questions from the participants in this meeting, we also have some questions for you on the dot storming board. So the first one is, at what age would you recommend to change from visual or block coding to text-based programming? Would you use both in parallel? Maria, what do you think? You teach kindergarten, as you mentioned, so what would you recommend?
I believe that it's for older students. As I said previously, we try to, in the first days of the kindergarten, we try to implement unplugged activities as our students couldn't write or read. So it's we try to use direction arrows for them in order to learn how to go forward, to turn right or left. So I believe that definitely it's for older ages. I don't know what Julie said about that. Is more experienced, I believe, in this.
Thanks. Jolie, what do you think? What would you recommend?
Yeah, I agree with Maria about the unplugged, and you know, there's so many options to start coding. We have coding now on our curriculum as an optional subject, but we still do for this is for second level students, but we still use block coding to start them off. You know, we use the microbits a lot, or App Inventor. They're all block coding, and you know, I teach adults as well, and I'd use microbit and App Inventor and more. So you know, and then we go on to text. So there isn't really a cutoff in terms of age. It just depends on the experience they've had. You know, if they're starting off, I think it's, you know, whatever age they are, if they're starting off, I think block coding is brilliant. It just gets the concepts. You learn all the programming concepts without having to worry about the syntax. So, you know, in Ireland, as we do more and more in school, you know, they'll be doing, by the time they reach, say, upper second level, they'd have done lots and lots of block coding, so they'll be ready for text, or it might even be earlier than that, you know, depending on how much experience they have. But I love block coding.
Yeah, me too. Thanks. And there is another question. So other than Python and Scratch, which are the most evident, what languages or systems would you recommend for 11 to 14-year-old students? Take into account just the age and cognitive abilities of the given ages, because the educational system may differ in their recommendations. So yes, Python and Scratch are most frequently used in schools all over Europe. But what other languages or systems would you recommend for this age, but also maybe for younger or older students? Julie?
Okay, I wasn't sure. Yeah, I think microbits are brilliant for that age group and beyond, because even the idea of physical computing, they can be extended. Like you can extend a microbit to do some, you know, it can interact with the world around them. You know, they can read a temperature from something, you know, and record it on their computer and then analyze the data, or, you know, they can make lights turn on and off, or, you know, lots of things like that they can do. And it's just, it's an amazing experience to see the students' reaction when that happens, you know, that they've done something, you know, on their microbit, pressed a button on the microbit and an LED light goes on. So I kind of think that it's easy to start off, but then the world is their oyster. They can do, you know, was it low floor, high seat? No, I'm probably going to get that wrong, but something, what's the phrase? Basically, they can start off easy, and you know, there's endless possibilities they can do. So I would probably suggest the microbit.
Yeah. So then all the other languages that they will learn later will be much easier to learn when once they have acquired the skills to use one.
There is also, I mean, there's all the web-based technologies as well, so they could learn how to make a website or web page using HTML and CSS. So that's another option, and students tend to like that also. And there's lots of development environments where you can actually do it. You know, it's built in, so you can create your code and test your code in the environment, which makes it quite easy to teach. Yeah.
Can I say something for the little ones? We are so happy that there is Scratch Junior, and I'm more excited that we have in EU Code Week the challenges this year, and I can see that there is a challenge from Samatis Papadakis that is about Scratch Junior. So we definitely can implement this in our classrooms.
Yeah, so this is for kids who don't read or write yet. Yes, so this is really great for them. Yes, Eugenia, go ahead, please.
And I think we have a comment as well from Leo, who raised his hand. I don't know if you wanted to comment on this previous question or to raise another question.
Oh, thanks. Can you hear me?
Yes,
perfectly. Yeah.
No, just I want to share my experience. So I'm glad to be here and very excited. It's my first time with the SchoolNet. Anyway, I teach in high schools, middle school from 11 to 14 years old, and my experience is a narrow way because I teach music with coding. So I use a text language. It's a software called Sonic Pi, and it's specifically made for make music. So I used to teach to students that has not previous experience with block coding, Scratch, anything about that, but I was skeptical about starting with text, but it was a great experience, and as my class started to learn very quickly because music was increasing their interest in learning the text. Just my coins. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was very interesting to hear and see as well another perspective. And we have a question as well from Patricia. She wonders what is the impact of the use of coding activities on the cognitive process of primary school pupils?
Definitely you, Maria.
Yes, I believe that learning coding at a young age, even not only in the primary school students, but in kindergarten, helps to develop a different kind of skills like problem solving, creativity, analytic thinking, and I think that the most important for me is that the students have the opportunity, to develop a better understanding of the world that surrounds them. And I believe that's the most important of coding. For us in kindergarten, I believe that's the most important thing. And also the skills and competencies. And
I fully agree. It helps develop a variety of transversal skills as well that would support a lot of further learning and development. So absolutely. Patricia, I see you in the screen, so feel free to comment as well if you would like, since you posed the question.
Thank you very much for your answer. I teach in primary school. I use coding in daily activity, and I would like to do a research about coding and what upon in children, in my children.
That's very interesting.
So, thank you very much for your answer. Thanks.
I'm just delighted to see the Minecraft background there. That's another great way of getting people involved, or kids involved in coding. It's brilliant.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm not an ICT teacher but a language teacher, but I really love coding, and I think it's important, and whenever I can, I bring it to my classroom, so because it helps students to develop so many different skills. Yes, so thanks for your answers and questions as well. While waiting for some other questions from your side, let me just ask you about the MOOCs organized by the EU Code Week community. As you know, this is our 4th MOOC. So what would you say, what is the value of MOOCs like this for the Code Week community and for the teacher community in general? How to make the most of this MOOC to get involved in a Code Week? Maria, would you like to start? Yes.
I believe that educators have the opportunity to explore EU Code Week and implement it in coding activities in their classrooms. And also they can learn how to integrate coding and computational thinking in their teaching practices. And for me, one important thing is that this course is based on reflection and discussion, so the educators can learn from each other and experience and ideas. So in the last activity, I believe that it's very important that we have to evaluate our colleagues and share our ideas and experiences.
Thank you, Maria.
And one more, I think I love that this year we have a study group leader. So as I am a study group leader also, I love that we have a team of 10 kindergarten teachers, and we have meetings once a week, and we talk about the difficulties, share our ideas, and we are going to see what happens next.
Thank you. Yeah, it's the first time that we have introduced study groups in this MOOC. So we are very interested in seeing how it goes and how these study groups and study group leaders will help the teams to achieve better results and also to learn about coding and implement coding activities in their classroom. So do some really hands-on practical activities with their students as a result of this collaborative work. And Julie, what do you think about the value of MOOCs in general?
Yeah. It's just great. You learn so much better when you're working as a group. You really do. So my job really is to just try and encourage as many people to join it. I'm not actually participating in it, but join it. But I know our edu coordinator, Anthony, he has set up some. His group have set up some study groups, and it's the blended learning. So they're reaching his people from his team are reaching a number of teachers in each school, and I just think that's great. Like, it's a great way to work together. So.
Yeah, actually, Ireland is the country that has the most study groups with 7. So we're very excited to see it unrolling in Ireland. Yes.
It's really good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lovely idea. It's a really good idea.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and now at the end of this webinar, what is a final message that you would share with the MOOC participants regarding Code Week and coding in the classroom? Maria?
Well, I will repeat the message that I referred firstly, that coding meets no borders and the coding connects us. And also there is a phrase that is my favorite, as Helen Keller said, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. So I believe collaboration and ideas sharing, I think that these are words that for me are so important.
Thank you. This is really great. An excellent point. Thank you, Maria. And Julie, what would you say?
Yeah, I think just start small. There's lots of resources there already. The website has lots of resources. There's different challenges there to do. You don't have to start and recreate new things. Just use what's there to begin with, and then later on you can actually, if you do create something, you can share it with the community afterwards. But just start small and use the resources there to begin with, I'd say.
Thanks. That's great.
And Yeah,
Yes.
just I would like to say, since we have here Maria and Julie, one final thing I would say is that also you can rely on the Code Week community, and something that we wanted to do with this live event is to bring the Code Week community closer to you who may not yet be leading teachers or ambassadors or edu coordinators. And so this is something you can do. You can reach out to the leading teachers, to the ambassadors, even to the edu coordinators in your region, and to find support, to find resources, and to find great ideas to continue working in Code Week or to start joining Code Week. So definitely that's one thing to keep in mind.
Yeah, excellent point. And can you share with our participants how they can find you and where they can find you, and where can they find their leading teachers and ambassadors?
That's in our website. I'm gonna share a link.
Yes, please.
So if you go to the website, I'm going to share a link, but we have a section dedicated to community, and in there you can actually see the role of everyone. And just to, just since this came up, I'm also going to say that another role that we have in our community is that of edu coordinators, which you may have heard, and these are people who work in the ministry or at the ministry level to support Code Week in a more administrative or, let's say, government supported way as well, not just ministries of education, but as well sometimes digital skills officers within the ministry and so on and so forth. But you'll find as well all the information on the website, which I'm about to share with you.
Thank you, Eugenia. And I would like to thank all the participants for joining us tonight. And many thanks for your questions here and also on the dot storming board. Please keep them coming on the dot storming board. We'll get back to you and answer all the questions. And special thanks of course to our guests tonight, Maria and Julie. It's been a huge pleasure and a lot of inspiration and enthusiasm that you have shared with our participants is really, really amazing, and we are very, very grateful for that. So thank you for joining us tonight. And also thank you, Eugenia, for being here with us tonight and taking care of the recording, which will be published on the platform as soon as it is. Eugenia puts it on our YouTube channel.
No pressure. Yes, but you'll find it within a couple of days. It will be available on the live events as well as the slides. So thank you very much, Ariana, as well. And I hope that this event has helped you come a bit closer to the Code Week community and has helped you bring it a bit closer to you. I just posted the link on the chat, so don't hesitate to approach your local ambassadors or leading teachers. And then as well, just adding to what Ariana said, thank you for joining us this evening. I hope you're enjoying the MOOC that has just started, so still plenty of time. And so see you in the MOOC. I'm looking forward to continue learning together. Should you have any questions about the live events or the course itself, don't hesitate to approach Ariana and I, or to post your questions on the course forum. We'll be promptly answering your questions over there.
Thank you and have a nice evening.
Thank you, everybody. Really enjoyed it, and best of luck with your MOOC.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you, Maria.
Keep going.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And
thank you.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.